Hi, I'm Christina, a 54-year-old creative with ADHD, and I'm sharing my journey in learning pattern design, illustration, and lettering. Welcome to Make Something Small. Last week, I talked about needing to remake the patterns I'd already created. All of them were monotone. The greens were too similar. They needed more of a contrast between light and dark. The patterns weren't cohesive. So this week I started building a new color palette from the ground up. The first thing I did was go back to the beginning. What was the collection supposed to be? What mood was I trying to share? I went back to my notes and reminded myself of what I was trying to accomplish. I added in notes for the new blended green. Fuchsia should be playful and bold. Yellow, vintage and cozy, like early autumn. Blue, calm, clear and airy. And green, earthy and balanced between the teal and mint. I also did some reading about color harmony, how colors interact to create balance and visual interest. I realized I'd been giving myself too many options, which is why my patterns didn't feel cohesive. This time, I decided to limit each palette to 5 colors: a light, a mid, a dark, an accent, and a neutral. I went back and forth between using an ivory or a cool white for the neutral, but after reworking my first set of patterns, the false sunflower, I decided to use the cool white as the background for all colorways. It instantly brightened everything and tied the palettes together. Let's take the fuchsia colorway as an example. When I looked at the original patterns, I knew I wanted the fuchsia to be bold and playful, the kind of color that really grabs your attention. I went back to my original swatch, which came from a photo I'd uploaded into Procreate. I started with the brightest fuchsia and adjusted the hue, saturation, and brightness until I found a midtone that felt balanced. Then I used Procreate's color harmony tool to find an analogous color, one that sits next to fuchsia on the color wheel, to use as my accent color. After a few tweaks, I landed on coral, which gives warmth and energy without overpowering the main hue. Next, I switched to the classic color panel to create my light and dark values. I started with the darkest color on the palette, adjusted it until it felt grounded but not dull, and then lightened another tone to create a softer highlight shade. That gave me my complete palette for the fuchsia colorway, plus the shared cool white neutral and a charcoal to use for outlines. I repeated the same process for the other colors, keeping their moods in mind. Once those were defined, I recolored my main bouquet illustration using the new palette, and then I recreated the false sunflower pattern across all 4 colorways. The difference is immediate. The designs feel lighter, more vibrant, and far more cohesive. The contrast is there, the colors play nicely together, and each palette tells a clear story. I feel like I've met the goals I set last week, and now I'm finally starting to see this collection come together the way I originally imagined it. Thank you for watching Make Something Small. New videos are out every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Remember, all big projects start with something small. See you in the next one.